morning and thanks for watching the news on Times TV with me, Tabby Kamangala. First, the headlines. PAC summons Mayor Board over CEO's recruitment. Committee of Parliament quizzes Ministry of Agriculture on number of beneficiaries in this year's AIP. And in other news, the Ministry of Mining needs 5 billion kwacha for the operationalization of a mining regulatory authority. Those were the headlines. Now, the news in detail. The Public Appointments Committee of Parliament, PAC, has summoned the Board of Directors of the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, over the way they handled the recruitment of the organization's chief executive, CEO, Henry Gajaje. PAC chairperson Joyce Chitulo is scheduled to meet MERA's board in Blantyre on Saturday and Sunday. The meeting follows a letter from the Office of the President and Cabinet that has recommended the firing of the MERA board. The letter, which has been signed by the Secretary to the President and Cabinet, SPC Zangazanga Chikosi, says considering the alleged poor handling of the matter, it has been decided by the government that the board be removed for incompetence. However, MERA board chairperson Leonard Chikaja, in a statement issued yesterday, bemoaned the leaking of the letter. He has observed that several issues led to the SPC's decision, including the board's refusal to approve fuel tender contracts for the National Oil Company of Malawi, where the SPC is the chairman. This, he said, would have led to the further increase of fuel pump prices, thus burdening Malawians. Chikaja added that he had already committed himself to meeting PAC before the letter was leaked. Now, Agriculture Committee of Parliament has questioned the Ministry of Agriculture on the number of beneficiaries in this year's Affordable Inputs Program. The committee took to task Ministry of Agriculture officials on why about 1 million farmers are yet to redeem inputs when President Lazarus Chakwera directed that the number of beneficiaries should now be reduced from the initial 3.7 million. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
The committee also wanted to know whether the ministry has quietly reduced the number of the beneficiaries. The ministry officials, led by Secretary for Agriculture Sandra Mawelu, appeared before the Agriculture and Natural Resources cluster. The cluster learned that by Wednesday, about 2.6 million farmers, which represents 70% out of 3.7 million beneficiaries, had redeemed their affordable fertilizer. Chairperson of the Agriculture Committee of Parliament, Samir Suleiman, said Chakwera assured the nation that the number of beneficiaries would not be reduced, but so far only 2.6 million people have bought the fertilizer.
In general terms, I should say that this year's AIP was a failure. I always want to call a spade by its name. The AIP has let us down, whether it was because of shortage of fertilizer or the cartels or whatever has led to this should not happen again. We were expecting to improve from the first year, but the second year has been a disaster.
Mawelu, however, argued that the number of beneficiaries may increase since the program is still running until March 15 this year. He said the program may reach 90%.
And then we assured them that the redemption is continuing because we are closing the fertilizer redemption on the 15th of March. Compared to last year we closed on the 20th of February, but because of the late onset of the season, we've extended to 15th March. And we are sure that that will continue.
Last year, the Ministry of Agriculture wanted to reduce the number of beneficiaries to 2.7 million, citing that the 142 billion kwacha allocated for the program was not sufficient.
The Ministry of Mining needs 5 billion kwacha to put into operation a regulatory company to oversee mining activities in the country. Minister of Mining Albert Mbawala disclosed this during a press conference in Lilongwe. Mbawala and Information Minister Gospel Gazago unpacked President Lazarus Jogwere's State of the Nation address during the conference. Wezi Gausi has the details.
The mining company will require huge investment for it to be operational. Mbawala says the company will help in promoting mining activities in the country, which have been stagnant for a long time.
You know, the mining industry is very capital intensive because you need to acquire very sophisticated equipment. You need to have advanced laboratories to make sure you are able to examine the minerals, and then the issue of beneficiation. This is a process where now you are, value adding to the product. So all this require a large investment in equipment and laboratories.
One of the mining experts, Undule Makasungula, welcomed the development, saying it was long overdue. He, however, says the government should devise a proper strategy on how the company will benefit indigenous Malawians. The Natural Resources Justice Network also said Malawi's mining sector remained non-beneficial in 2021 despite having legal frameworks and other interventions to boost the sector. Malawi is believed to have abundant natural resources, including limestone and unexploited deposits such as uranium, coal, and gold.
Now, Department of Human Resource Management and Development has extended a medical scheme to lower-ranking civil servants working in grades I, J, and K. A circular from Secretary for Human Resource Management, Blessings Chilabade, advises controlling officers that officers under the 3 grades would be paying 1,450 kwacha under executive scheme, while those under Econoplan will be deducted 460 kwacha. Audrey Kapalamula reports.
Chilabade says membership to the scheme is voluntary and contributory. Civil Servants Trade Union Secretary General Mavuto Kaonga says the scheme has received a positive response, though at a snail pace.
Maybe what is lacking mostly is about the sensitization, because we really need to ensure that the civil servants are sensitized about the benefits that could arise out of the medical scheme. So that could be one challenge. Maybe people are not very much aware on what it offers.
DHRMD spokesperson Ken Ntonga says the department is here to consolidate the membership, but reports indicate that less than 1,800 civil servants have joined the scheme. Government introduced the medical scheme in March last year with the Medical Society of Malawi MAZIM as a service provider, in which the government contributes 90% while officers contribute 10%. The civil service has over 200,000 civil servants.
The World Health Organization has called on Malawi to scale up its immunization program to ensure every child is reached with the polio vaccine. This call comes days after the country detected poliovirus type 1 in Lilongwe. Here is what World Health Organization Coordinator for Basic Package of Essential Health Services, Janet Kayati, has told journalists in Lilongwe.
Really important to understand what is happening on the ground. You kept asking, is it just one child? How big a risk is there? What really is happening in the community? So the first thing is to intensify surveillance. The second is to strengthen the immunization system. It's really important that all children get all of the recommended childhood vaccines, and this includes the polio vaccine. But the specific outbreak response is a national immunization campaign targeting all children aged under 5 with the polio vaccine, which is 2 oral drops, and it will be repeated again in a second round. But what is really key is that every child, every under 5, wherever they are reached.
Deputy Minister of Health Enoch Palace says the government of Malawi remains alert to control the disease.
We put in place some communication strategy because the public needs to know, and also in place some resource mobilization. because people need to go flat out, provide some vaccination, supplemental immunization to those that probably had early exposure of this vaccination, immunization and polio, but also for those that never got any.
Malawi last reported a polio case in 1992. Now, recent flash floods that hit Chikwawa and Nsanje have affected Malawi Liverpool Welcome Program's clinical research in the Lower Shire. The organization has been conducting research on tuberculosis, AIDS, and malaria. Assistant Director Jane Lisa Musaya disclosed the development when the organization presented relief assistance to people affected by the floods. Musaya explains more to our reporter Isaac Salima.
So, to be honest, we had to stop some of the work because their pain is our pain. We cannot come here and do work when we know people are displaced. So we had to stop for some time, and that's why we come here to help them. And then when the circumstances are at least back to normal, then we can resume our work here. We need to do assessment, but the impact is not as huge as the impact of displacement of human life. So for us, we can start at any point in time to continue with their work. But the people here, they will have to start from the ground to build their houses. So we are here to donate the relief items, majorly because we work here in Chikwawa. Chikwawa is our main site where we do our research in health. And when we heard about what has happened here with the cyclone and the water damage, we realized that these friends of ours that have been with us throughout these years actually need help.
Later, Isaac spoke to Chikwawa District Hospital's Health Promotion Officer, Seti Piriminta.
As Chikwawa DHO, we are very thankful to Malawi Liverpool Welcome Trust for this timely donation. As you know, after the effect of Cyclone Anna, as the district council and the Chikwawa DHO, we are overwhelmed on the kind of the assistance that we could offer to the displaced people. Of course, it's like we have another burden. We have added another burden on whatever we do on our routine services. I'm saying so because it's like we have set some teams that are comprised of different health cadres, that is nurses, clinicians, HSAs, environmental health workers, that are going around in the camps providing different services to displaced people.
The National Commission for Science and Technology, NCST, Board Chairperson Emmanuel Kaunda has said financing science, technology, and innovation will help to achieve a knowledge-based and technologically led economy by 2063. Kaunda said this on Wednesday during the launch of the operationalization of the Science and Technology Fund in Lilongwe. Emmanuel Simpokolwe has more in this report read by Matthews Kasanda.
Kaunda said this is an important ingredient for a knowledge economy and is a driver of productivity, competitiveness, economic growth, and wealth creation. Kaunda added that the challenge for developing countries like Malawi has been inadequate investment in scientific research and development.
So you can have proper research, fine-tune it, tweak it to be a proper technology. That research or that fund has never been there. And since the Act was formulated, this is more than 20 years. This is the first time to have this fund. So there's a huge gap in terms of financing our research and technology.
Minister of Education Agnes Nyalonje said the establishment of the Science and Technology Fund represents a long-awaited start to the strategies financing of Malawi's own science, technology research, and innovation for development.
With science, technology, innovation, and research, what you have is businesses that do not just expand their product lines, for example, without research. They do research to find out what products will work with this audience. What products do Malawians want? What products are best for export and so on?
The newly launched fund will provide a pool where investors, development partners and the government can combine resources that can be channeled to the development of the science and technology sector in Malawi in a more organized manner.
Now, Agricultural Commercialization Project has dispersed matching grants of up to 2.1 billion kwacha to 20 farmer groups in the central region. Presentation of the grants took place at Jamama in Kasungu. Emmanuel Simpokolo has more in this report read by Fale Banda.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Sandra Mawelu, said the grants demonstrate government's commitment to promote farming as business.
AGCOM is promoting commercialization, and therefore this intervention will ensure that farmers go into business ventures through their various enterprises. We have got the people that are in livestock. You've noted that we've issued checks to people that are in backing groups, and we've also people that are in pulses, soybean production, and other business enterprises. So we know that it's difficult, but we are promoting the issue and the culture of taking agriculture and farming as a business.
AGCOM Executive Director Teddy Nakuma said his organization is encouraging farmers to ensure that they have a ready market for their produce.
But we still have a good pipeline, so we still have a lot of business cases that we are handling, and we also have a lot of concepts that we are handling, and we also have at least another window that we need to open. So we want to surpass the 200 target to maybe approach the 300 productive alliances.
During the event, AGCOM also handed over a tractor to Changu Cooperative of Kasungu to help them in their farming. Changu Cooperative Chairperson Julius Mangamba said the tractor will help them to ease the burden when cultivating their field.
Chiefs in Rumpi and Chitipa have expressed disappointment over continued delays in the construction of the Rumpi-Nyigan-Talire Road. Minister of Transport Jacob Hara announced the road would delay because there were no proper designs. Sam Kalimira has more in this report.
The minister told journalists in Irongwe that the road was commenced by the previous administration to win votes in the northern region. Sub-traditional authority Kawazamawe of Rumpi said it is ironic to say the road has no designs when it was officially launched by former head of state Peter Mutarika and other senior government officials, including the vice president, have been inspecting the road. To Kawazamawe, the current developments simply mean the residents of Rumpi are simply being taken for granted.
And I am surprised because we, the locals, our trust is upon our leaders, the politicians. If the same politicians, they did came to our place and they erected that pillar, which is being erected into all those roads which are being constructed. Even that curtain, they managed to remove that curtain as opening. Now, we are surprised to be told today that there is no design. You mean there was only a design of that pillar? Now, if they say there was only a design of that pillar, what does that mean to people of Rumpi? We are so disappointed. And we know this government will do something urgently.
Further, traditional authority Nhalile of Chitipa questioned why the government has been releasing funds for the same road which had no designs. Nhalile said people of Chitipa are disappointed with the tendency of politicians who never live to their promises. But Minister of Transport, through its spokesperson Calvin Sato, said the current administration is planning to take all necessary procedures to ensure the road is completed. Sato said the minister is fully aware of the importance of the road, saying apart from connecting people of Chitipa via Nhalile, it will also help boost the tourism sector because it passes through Nyika National Park. The construction of the road, which was expected to take a phased approach, was assigned to Motor Angel, whose contract was terminated despite spending 1.7 billion kwacha.
You're watching the news on Times TV. We'll be back with more after this break.
Super Makala. Sustainable biomass fuel made from 100% renewable resources. It's been said countless times that charcoal is the only affordable source of energy in Malawi. Wrong. Try Briquettes Super Makala, a product of Reply Malawi. With Briquettes Super Makala, you can cook with, home heat, and many more. Place your orders today from Reply Malawi and all leading Malawian stores. Chikangawa 099 2386 063. Lilongwe 0888 202089. Limbe 0888 948938. Briquettes Super Makala. Environmental friendly, a solution to your energy crisis and a product of Malawi.
Like every mom, you want the best for your child.
Happy birthday.
You feed her mind and nurture her body. And you understand there are times you have to let her pick herself up when she falls. You make sure she knows the joy of sharing happy moments with family. And when everything comes together, you above all others will share the taste of success with her. Blue Band tastes like mama's love.
Welcome back. Still in the news, Machinga District Commissioner Rosemary Nawasha says a poor road network is affecting the district's social cash transfer program. Nawasha says the challenge has led to officers assigned to distribute cash to beneficiaries walking long distances, thereby delaying the exercise. TSM Wanjeza has more in this report read by Jameson Jauruga.
Nawasha says despite challenges in transporting some cash transfer officers to designated communities due to bad road networks, the program has been a success in the district where funds reach the intended beneficiaries. After inspecting the cash distribution exercise, Nawasha has appealed to beneficiaries of the program to use the money in purchasing food items and other basic necessities.
The cash they have received, they should use it wisely. It is for the purpose of this lean season for them to get food, send children to school, and do other things that will them in order to have their family intact and to have their family fed without any problems. So no one should use that cash with the other issues that are not concerned with the family, but they should use the cash to buy food.
One of the beneficiaries, Margaret Mairosi, from the area of traditional authority Liwonde, appealed to government to continue with the program to caution families which are at risk of facing hunger after their crops were washed away by heavy rains. Malawi Vulnerability Assessment Committee (MVAC) indicates that 18,124 households in Machinga were likely to be affected by hunger and were in need of financial support. The report further said 13,000 households are benefiting from government hunger response social cash transfer program, while others were given aid. 13,515 households were expected to receive 36,000 kwacha for the month of January and February during the rain season.
Now, Toyota Malawi has launched the Toyota Hino Connect, a digital fleet management system. The system offers real-time vehicle tracking and information. It has been designed to Toyota and Hino vehicles. Malawi is the first to have the system in Africa. More in this report by Justin Mkwel.
Apart from tracking a vehicle's movement, the system sends reports on fuel usage and wastage, alerts such as when the vehicle is due for service, and suggests better routes. Toyota Malawi National Sales and Marketing Manager Newton Mlaga says the system is pre-installed in Toyota and Hino vehicles. It will only require the customer to give consent for activation.
It's so tiresome and a nightmare to maintain a large fleet, but with this product, it will be real time. Most of all, we want our customer to have stress-free operations when it comes to their fleet.
Toyota Malawi has partnered an IT vehicle tracking company called CarTrack in the introduction and management of the new system. Mlaga added that the partnership was arrived at by looking at the track record of the two companies since they have had similar working relationships before.
When we came up with this product, we looked at a partner who has got history. You may be aware that Toyota Malawi and CarTrack, the first product we launched was Toyota Plus. And this was in 2005. And we had to go along with CarTrack. And even now, we have found it so essential that we've got a proven record in terms of our partnership with CarTrack. Yes, we are going along with CarTrack in this product innovation.
Toyota Malawi is an official dealer of Toyota and Hino vehicles on the local market.
Well, that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. PAC summons Mera board over CEO's recruitment. Committee of Parliament quizzes Ministry of Agriculture on number of beneficiaries in this year's AIP. And in other news, the Ministry of Mining needs 5 billion kwacha for the operationalization of a mining regulatory authority. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website, www.times.mw. You may also like our Facebook page, Times 360 Malawi, subscribe to 1895, and follow us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, mask up, and get vaccinated to prevent COVID-19. Please stay safe. You've been with me, Tabby Kamangala.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi wishes to advise members of the general public that it will release a new 5,000 kwacha banknote on 24th February 2022. The members of the general public are therefore advised to familiarize themselves with the following security features. Holographic foil stripe. On the front side of the note, there is brilliant foil stripe with color changing effect showing a shiny sun, a portrait, the denomination value, and the logo of the Reserve Bank when the note is tilted. Sparklight fish shaped. The note also has a security feature in form of a fish which changes color from magenta to green when the note is tilted.